Welcome back to episode 9 of our neighborhood build out series. In other episodes, we have built out what you see here on this neighborhood. We've got a gas station, a car wash, a couple little houses. Today, we are going to build a truck dealership slash like custom shop. So we'll go through that process and all that. Starting out though, we are using lot 86 on the beautiful map of Settlers, and this is the American Midwest Man Cave. I absolutely love this shed. It is just a beautiful shed. It's got nice lighting. It's got a lift already built in. The whole 9 yards. It's just a great shop all around. So we are going to use that one, and we will go around and paint our parking lot now. I kind of went a little big with this parking lot. I didn't want it to be too big, but at the same time, you've got to be able to get through there with, multiple vehicles and have parking for the vehicles too. So keep that in mind when you are making this parking lot. That is why I use lot 86 for this, because there is only technically one entrance and one exit for this entire lot. Most lots have like up to two. This one just kind of fits well doing it this way. Alright, we are going to go through our decorations. Like I've said in all my other videos, guys, download every single decoration pack. It is so worth it. And you will find stuff that you will use on multiple different builds. Especially when doing this neighborhood build out, it is very nice to have all them decoration packs. I mean, it gets to be a lot, but at the same time, having options and not having to reuse the same things over and over and over does really come in handy. We are going to throw a second lift in here. This lift is made by Ikas, I-K-A-S. He also makes a small barndominium and the modern car garage that we have used in other episodes and, things like that. He just makes some beautiful mods. That is a nice little washer fluid barrel is kind of what I look at that as. So we're going to throw that in there, if you do any maintenance or anything like that. It's just good for role play look. Scrolling through here, we are going to continue on. There's going to be, quite a few things that we will add, but you don't want it to get too congested or too full of things and it kind of looks goofy. We'll throw our garbage can back here. Every place needs a dumpster or a garbage can, because who doesn't have one, you know what I mean? Tucked back in that corner there is a good spot for it. This is a newer mod here. It's one of the new decoration packs. Decoration pack, that's just the name of it. It has that tire rack, so we will throw two of them just so it kind of looks like a bigger rack there. And since this side is a wash bay, we will throw a vacuum on the end, kind of like a detail bay is what we'll look at that as. There's a floor jack. We'll throw the floor jack in over here as well. Once again, that's just part of that new decoration pack. Really useful to have, guys. Really, really nice. We'll throw this grill back here because, most shops I've ever been at or worked at do have a grill somewhere for the employees to, cook out for lunch or do whatever they want. Going through, like I said, we don't want it to be too congested inside, but we do want it to look like it's used. So there's a nice balance. We'll throw some barrels and things like that. We'll throw some flowers up front. You know me, we always do that black square flower pot every single time. We will throw another one right there. We don't want to congest it though outside. So we are going to be parking things out front here and people are going to be pulling in and out, you know what I mean? Since it is a dealership and a shop, the way I like to think of this is you could bring your truck here, have it modified, or you can just buy an already modified one. They kind of do both. I've got a couple shops local to me that do stuff like that. And I think that that's just such a smart idea. We'll throw a couple actual garbage cans inside here. If you are having trouble getting things placed inside, remember press Y or triangle to place things inside buildings, depending on what console you're on. And then just kind of use your camera to move around, it's super important. Just kind of try different angles. And I usually do use snapping as well, so you can see how it kind of snaps to tiles. I do think that that is a nice little touch there. We will test this lift, make sure that it doesn't go too high here. The side clearance isn't too big of a deal in my opinion. You can still kind of walk under it if that lift is up, as long as the vehicles aren't hitting the ceiling or glitching through the ceiling. I was considering putting a lift here, but I think that's too many lifts for this one little spot, so we're going to just skip that thought. There are some workbenches there, but with all the toolboxes in the background, I don't really think there's a huge need for the workbench up front here, but we are going to throw an actual, like, shop workbench up there so that we can customize vehicles here in the game. Running through, that is the end of the decorations, but we can still check through others, see if there's anything that we might be missing. I was considering putting some of those tire piles out kind of by the dumpster. Didn't end up doing that though. Didn't really see a need for it. We are going to add some parking spaces. This is part of the parking spaces mod pack. Really nice little mod pack. They've got, you know, the curbs at the back, nice lines, and they kind of look a little dirty too, so it does look used and not just brand new, you know. I considered putting something at the front there, but we decided against it. Continuing through, you need a mailbox. Everyone put a mailbox on every property and a fire hydrant. Both of those are really important. Same with garbage cans, like I said. Every house has garbage cans, mailboxes, fire hydrants around, everything. So let's just add them in. It's really easy to do and it doesn't take up a ton of slots. So here is that workbench. This is part of the workbench pack. The workbenches, you can just pull up to it, click left stick when you're standing by the tool bench, and customize any part of any vehicle or bed or truck or anything like that. I was going to put a second one there just to kind of extend it, but I thought that looked a little cluttered, so we are going to skip that. Kind of go around, see what areas look like it needs filling in. And then we will start with the grass. So the grass with this property is kind of goofy because it is such small strips, but I do still think it is important to throw it in there and just quickly throw it down. Now take your time with this. If you do mess up, press X or square on your controller. I play Xbox, so it would be X for me, and that will delete it unless you get it in the road. If you get it in the road, you are kind of just out of luck. So be very careful when you are doing the grass. You can see here, I was going to try and put it here, but it wasn't quite a big enough patch to put grass down, but I know I'm going to want a trailer over there. So we're just going to paint this all asphalt. Not a huge deal. It looks a little goofy. I kind of would have liked grass there more. But at the same time, I mean, a lot of dealerships don't have a ton of grass. They're kind of just big parking lots, you know. I do want a gate here and a fence because, you know, a lot of dealerships do lock up their stuff at night. For some reason, this big automatic gate did not want to work for me. I don't know if it was like colliding with the road or something. So I did end up going with just a regular gate here. When it's closed, it doesn't really look noticeable. And when it's open, it's not terrible. It wasn't my first choice, but kind of got to work with what you've got. You know what I mean? So we do go with this one here because it does fit the space pretty well. It doesn't really get in the way. So we'll place that down, check it open, make sure it doesn't collide with anything goofy, and we'll just go with that. We will continue on with this black fence here, go all the way around the property. If you need to go back, you can click your right thumbstick, which I will show you here in a second. You can see I didn't go far enough, so I click my left or my right thumbstick and it does unsnap it from where I just was, so I can retry it. So that is a nice little feature. You don't have to place it and delete it. You can click right thumbstick and it'll let you go all the way back. Alright, we do our little swoop around again, check on everything, make sure we're not missing anything. This right side here will be more or less for the pickups and for sale vehicles, so I'm not going to really put anything over there because we'll just line it with vehicles, you know. Since there's not a ton of room, I am just going to use these smaller trees to kind of cover up some of the area and add a little bit of landscaping to it. I think there could be a little more, but once again, you don't want to overdo it with things and have it look goofy. So we will just alternate these trees here, just kind of fill in that space and make it look a little more, you know, lively. This is kind of like a custom truck shop, so they do have some money, you know. I'd like to think that they like to take care of their property and they have some money and things like that to make it look nice. We'll throw a few more trees here. We are just about done though, guys. There's really not too much that you need to add to this. The vehicles are going to do the talking, you know what I mean? So that's about all that you can do for that for the most part. But yeah, like I said, the vehicles are going to do the talking. We'll park the vehicles all down the side. I do think we will throw some decoration cars in these parking spaces back here. I think that that's kind of needed. They don't take up much space on your map, only one slot. And it is nice because you don't have to cycle through 100 vehicles and accidentally keep getting those that you will never ever drive. So like I said, I'd recommend just using decoy vehicles for things like that. On the lot, I am going to put actual trucks. I did consider putting this pickup on the lot, but then you can't move it. So if it gets in the way or you don't like it, you just have to delete it. And that's kind of annoying in my opinion. So we are going to skip that idea. Do one last quick look through decorations. Like I said, be thorough, look through a few times, check it out, see how it looks, see how it feels, see how it, flows, like walking around here, the first thing I noticed is that garbage enclosure wasn't perfect, so we're gonna throw a nice little kind of block enclosure around it. So we will go all the way around. This is just a simple stone wall. There's really nothing special to it, but most garbage enclosures are kind of just like that, just a simple little enclosure. And then we will throw some lights on the corners here. I don't usually go crazy with the lights because I always just play during the day, fast forward it through the night or sleep. So not a huge deal, but I do think that it kind of adds to the vibe of a dealership. Like I said, just be thorough, look through, download every mod pack, and just go through it all, You will find stuff every single time, and you'll go, wow, I really wish I would have used that on the last build, and it can be a little challenging. So since this is a custom truck shop, let's put a truck on the wall. We're going to put a truck right up front here. You can do that once again by pressing Y to let it place wherever, and you can see it's kind of angled there, so I'm going to turn on snapping and get that just perfect. I like the red though. The red on the black I think looks really nice. So we will throw that truck up there, just, since they don't have like custom signs, or at least I haven't seen any custom signs that I could add, I think that'll be nice, just putting a truck up there. Lets you know that it's a truck shop, dealership, things like that. And it does kind of put something on the inside for decoration as well, which is kind of neat. I mean, it's not a drivable vehicle anyway, so let's just do something goofy with it. Alright guys, we have filled up the dealership. Here we go. Like I said, this was kind of my thoughts all along. Line the for sale trucks up over here, the inventory. Come around back, you've got the dumpster, employee parking, detail bay. Got drag car up on the lift. You've got this truck getting a new box and other work done. You've got this service truck getting a quick oil change over here. Spare tires, things like that right there. You have a car hauler in the back here for the smaller vehicles or anything like that. And then trailer parking. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Like I said, this is episode 9 on the beautiful map of Settlers. There is a link tree in the description below. Go check that out, guys. That does link you to all my other stuff. Thank you.